We got off to a rough start in Gen 5 with a career worst 9 deaths in Pokémon Black. It's time to run it back in Pokémon White. Wasting no time, Bacon Bits the Tepig is our starter of choice. Bianca Snivy is defeated with ease, thanks in no small part to Bianca getting it to spam Leer. Charon's Oshawott is dealt with in identical fashion, using Tail Whip to Oblivion. Once Professor Juniper kits us out with our essentials, I quickly catch Sharon the Lillipup on Route 1 and head to Accumula Town. Our first battle with N is just as short as it was last time, with Bacon Bits taking his Purloin out for the win. Instead of catching a Patrat, our Route 2 encounter is Cruella the Purloin. Determined not to repeat past mistakes, I take our new additions to Route 1 and safely train a bit before returning to Route 2. Progression is smooth and we approach the end of the route in great shape for a battle with Bianca. Bacon Bits takes charge and easily defeats Lillipup and Snivy for the win. Thank goodness for that. Next up is our battle with Charon. Now that we actually have options, Cruella leads and debuffs Oshawott a bit before a crit water gun scares me into switching. Sharon is able to deal big damage and picks up an Oranberry before finishing Oshawott off. Sharon's rampage continues, taking out the much more manageable Purloin for the win. Feels good to have everyone on hand, and the additions only continue as we're given Cilantro the Pansage in the Dream Yard. Our squad of 4 takes on the Striaton and Gym Trainers first before training up and getting our gym battle against Cress underway. Bacon Bits gets things started against Lillipup, struggling to keep up through all of the flinches. Cruella takes over to finish Lillipup off, leaving just Panpour. Cilantro's Vine Whip does major damage, outpacing Panpour to end the battle. One badge in with no deaths, we might be reformed. Our first little skirmish with Team Plasma is settled without issue thanks to Cruella and Bacon Bits, and we quickly get a move on to Route 3. Getting a battle with Charon started, Cilantro takes over and handily defeats Oshawott, and Bacon Bits takes Purloin down for the win. Team Plasma is back on the menu, and we get our battles with them out of the way before catching Carlisle the Woobat in the Wellspring Cave. Our Route 3 encounter is quickly found next, in Peepers the Patrat. Moving on, the team grows as we reach Nakreen City. Our Pinwheel Forest encounter, Hopscotch the Timpole, takes Cruella's place on the team. The coverage the Water-type Hopscotch provides is too good to pass up, and I'd feel great about keeping Liepard in reserve for a future leg. Evolution for half of the team is close at hand, so training resumes. Bacon Bits evolves into Pignite, and Sharon evolves into Herdier before we get another battle with N started. Bacon Bits starts by using Flame Charge to speed up and defeat Pidove, but Timpole forces a switch into Cilantro. Vine Whip hits hard, but Supersonic prevents Cilantro from finishing the job. Hopscotch takes over and defeats her kin with Mudshot, leaving just Timber. Mudshot and Bubble Beam are enough to knock Timber out, sending N on his way. The team gets back to training, preparing for our battle with Lenora. Peepers evolves into Watchog just in time to start our next gym battle. Bacon Bits faces off with Herdier, boosting up with Flame Charge and Defense Curls before taking it out. We land one Rock Smash before Lenora's Watchog puts Bacon Bits to sleep, but the crucial defense drop was applied. Peepers uses Crunch a few times to take the ace down, securing us the badge with a lot more finesse than we had last time. Team Plasma's Museum Heist provides the team some more XP as we tear through everyone in sight and then head to Castelia City. Things have been going well, but the good times don't last as Castelia City claims the leg's first victim. The unassuming scientist's unassuming Roggenrola rock blasts the life out of poor Cilantro. Please, don't let this be the start of a downward spiral. Clearly, the employees in the battle company are not to be trifled with. Welcome back to the team, Cruella. We quickly work to retrieve Bianca's stolen Muna before taking on the Castelia Gym Trainers and rushing to Battleburg. Naturally, Bacon Bits is the lead in this battle. Defense Curl followed by Flame Charge increases our speed and defense before we take Whirlipede out. Rollout continues building momentum as it one-shots Dwebble and then Livani for the win. Holding the XP share, Cruella evolves into Liepard before we're awarded our third badge. Before moving on to Route 4, we battle Bianca again. Bacon Bits takes Carlisle's place to contend with Herdier, using Flame Charge and Rock Smash to KO. Up next, Muna is taken out by some Flame Charges, and Cruella takes over against Panpour. Finally, Peepers does some work against Servine before Carlisle enters and finishes the job. Hoodlum the Scraggy joins us on Route 4 once again, and we get our next Charon battle started. Peepers starts strong, taking Pidove out with ease, and makes massive progress on Duat before being taken out by Razor Shell. You can literally see me pause to reconsider before committing and getting the little guy killed. Stupid. Cruella finishes Duat off and takes Pansear out next, leaving Charon's own Lipard. The two trade blows, but Cruella comes out on top. The gang and I enter Nimbasa to save the daycare man from Team Plasma before backtracking to the desert resort. Our encounter here ends up being Aruka the Maractus. As a Pokemon I've never used before, she should be a fun addition to the team. Literally one step into the Relic Castle and we find our next addition, Shades the Sandile. The encounters keep on coming as we head to Route 16 next and catch Gladys Bag the Trubbish. I'm really proud of that nickname. Aiming to put a stop to all the losses on our end, I double back to some earlier areas to EV train the team. With their stats tailored in the way I want, they are nigh unstoppable now. Heading back to Nimbasa City, we have our mini-date with N before battling him. Haruka leads and uses Giga Drain to Oko Sandile. Shades is hit hard by Darumaka despite Intimidate lowering its attack, so Bacon Bits takes over. He boosts up before letting Rollout rip. Rollout Oko's Sigilif after taking Darumaka down, and we're dropped low by Scraggy before finishing it off to win. The team then gets down to grinding before we challenge Elisa. Cruella leads against Emolga number 1, using Fake Out and then pivoting to Shades to negate Volt Switch. I then go back to Cruella to keep Shades in top shape, repeating the pivot play until I'm sure Shades can finish it off with Rock Tomb. Emolga number 2 is sent up next and is taken out by 2 more Rock Tombs. Zebstrika hits harder with Flame Charge than I thought it would, but Shades hangs on and lands Dig to Oko and win us the battle. Shades' efforts are rewarded via an evolution into Krokorok and the acquisition of Badge 4. After exploring some of the venues in Nimbasa and powering up, another battle with Charon is at hand. Bacon Bits smokes Lipard, and Aruka Oko's Duat. Pansear uses Yawn before Shades takes it out with Rock Tomb, and Cruella goes back and forth with Tranquil for the win. Charon and I beat the toddlers up again, and I take some more trainers on nearby, prompting Carlisle to evolve into Swoobat. Crossing the drawbridge to Driftvale, we quickly get put to work by Clay, catching Team Plasma and Cold Storage. The team does some more training, this time to the cap, and we challenge Clay. Aruka's Giga Drain Oko's Krokorok to start, and Synthesis keeps her in the game to contend with Excadrill, taking the ace out with 2 Giga Drains. Palpitoad couldn't possibly do anything to Aruka, and goes down to Giga Drain for the win. This performance was night and day to our last attempt, and I carry that momentum into our battle with Bianca right after. Bacon Bits powers up with Work Up, then Oko's Herdier with a crit Flame Charge. Rock Smash 2 hit KO's Pampor, who wasted their one chance at damage on Taunt. Musharna shrugs Heat Crash off, so I pivot into Cruella, using Fake Out and Torment before being put to sleep. Shades uses Crunch to take Musharna out right after, and Carlisle defeats Servine for the win. Everyone makes substantial gains as we trek to and through Chargestone Cave, ready to battle N at the end of it. Aruka uses Pin Missile to break Boldor's sturdiness and then KOs with Giga Drain. Joltik and Clink are both scorched by Bacon Bits' Flame Charge, leaving just Pharisee to be taken out by Heat Crash. These last few battles have gone quite well. Looks like the team is in a really great spot right now. The gains continue as we head to and climb the Celestial Tower, getting the team ready to take on Skyla next. Shades is up first, and Crunch one-shots Skyla's Swoobat. Carlisle takes over when Swanna is sent out, just missing the KO with Charge Beam, but getting it anyway after a Hyper Potion. Skyla's poor on Pheasant didn't stand a chance as Carlisle's Charge Beam connects to end the battle. Before we can explore Twist Mountain, Charon challenges us again. Cruella does the usual, landing Fake Out and trading with Unpheasant for a bit. Roost slows this down a bit too much, so I get Carlisle in and Air Slash crits to KO. Bacon Bits then takes Lipard out with a crit Rock Smash. Too many crits, I'm getting scared. Aruka Giga Drains Duat, and Shades uses Dig to KO Simisear, ending the battle. Charon throws his temper tantrum after Bacon Bits evolves into Embor, and we move on to Twist Mountain and then Iciris City. Bacon Bits starts to pull ahead of the team as he decimates the gym trainers. We immediately get our battle with Bryson going as he hits the cap. Bacon Bits starts by using Work Up while Vanillish uses Acid Armor. Flame Charge does fail to KO because of this, so we use Work Up again as Vanillish is healed. Eventually, Brick Break KOs the Ice Cream. Brick Break then Okos Bryson's Beartic and Cryogonal right after, securing us our 7th badge. Instead of heading to Dragon Spiral Tower right away, I get the team to do some training. Gladys Bag evolves into Garbodor, and Shades evolves into Crocodile before we make the climb. Team Plasma is treated like absolute fodder by our powered-up squad as we ascend to the top of the tower. Instead of Zekrom, N is the chosen hero of Reshiram in Pokémon White. Nice subtle detail to have N standing on the right side this time. We move on to the Relic Castle in vain as we take on more of Team Plasma's forces, ultimately heading to Nacreed City to pick up the Darkstone. Bianca's final battle with us is up next as we work our way towards the Tube-Line Bridge. Gladys Bag goes toe-to-toe with Stoutland and ultimately comes out on top. Cruella is the switch in to deal with Musharna, using Fake Out and then Taunt before Pursuit takes it out. It's a battle of the starters as I get Bacon Bits to deal with Superior. Superior spams Coil while we chip away at and eventually take it out with Flame Charge. Haruka then uses Giga Drain to Oko Simipour. Why did it only use Leer? Now that we finally made it to Hope Lucid City, we are so close to our final badge. I really like that the city is super old school in white, where it was futuristic in black. Since we did some immediately after earning our 7th badge, our grind ahead of the 8th is much quicker. And instead of facing Drayden, our 8th gym leader is Little Iris. We may not have Blizzard to rely on this time, but Carlisle makes for a great opener. After a single Calm Mind, Psychic Oko's Iris' lead fracture. Psychic hits hard but doesn't quite KO Drudigon. Thankfully, Night Slash doesn't crit, and Carlisle survives to take it out. After some deliberation, Shades makes the most sense as the pivot against Haxorus. Intimidate lowers its attack, and it uses Dragon Tail, getting Cruella to come out next. Fake Out, Taunt to block Dragon Dance, and a couple Night Slashes are all it takes to end the battle. A flawless performance made easier by Dragon Tail for sure. Victory Road and the Pokemon League are on the horizon, but we have one more battle with Cheren first. Charge Beam and Psychic take on Pheasant out before its Razor Wind can connect, and Gladys Bag is crit twice and nearly dies in a trade with Liepard. I knew I was right to be scared of crits earlier. Shades makes the save, tanking Night Slash and using Return to KO Liepard. Haruka completely walls Samurott and Okos with a Giga Drain, and Shades returns to the field to Oko Simisear with Dig. Our friends see us off as we make the journey through Victory Road, trading up and finding ourselves once again at the League's doorstep. Factoring in our team's strengths, Caitlyn makes the most sense as our first of the Elite Four to battle. Shade starts the run off, using Crunch to Oko Reuniclus, Sigilif, Musharna, and Gothitelle. That was too easy. More of that, please. We're better equipped for her this time, so Chantal is our second battle. Gladys Bag leads as our bulwark against Cofagrigus. We set up Toxic Spikes, unbothered by the Will-O-Wisp. Psychic, on the other hand, is really scary. Cruella is able to safely switch in and taunt Cofagrigus before missing the mark with Night Slash. Working through some full restores, Cruella is able to crit KO with another Night Slash. I pivot to Haruka to tank Earthquake, another crit by the way, and KO with Giga Drain. Hopeful that its Fire Blast doesn't KO, I pivot to Shades when Chandelure is sent out. Even better, it misses entirely, and Crunch Okos. Haruka is sent back out, healed by Surf, and Giga Drain does enough damage for Poison Chip to end the battle. Third in line is Marshall. Like we did against Chantal, Gladys Bag is the lead. I use Toxic Spikes and then use Acid Spray to lower Throw's special defense before sending Carlisle in. Bulldoze fails to connect and Psychic KOs right after. Psychic then drops Sock to 1 HP, and Poison Chip finishes it off. I am sure we would have lived if that Stone Edge connected, but I'll count my blessings regardless. The battle becomes much more straightforward from this point, as Psychic Okos both Conkeldurr and Mienshao for the win. The only member left is Grimsley. Gladys Bag is the lead again for the exact same play. Scrafty starts chucking sand at us, so I pivot to Haruka. After using Sunny Day, the sand prevents Haruka from hitting Giga Drain to KO. I pivot back into Gladys Bag instead, using Sludge Bomb twice to KO. Knowing Crocodile's certain to use Earthquake, I pivot from Gladys Bag to Carlisle and then double into Shades. Intimidate and Resist make Crunch incredibly weak, and Shades is able to trade and win the mirror match in the nick of time. Bacon Bits finally has his moment, taking over to wreck Bisharp and Grimsley's last Pokemon, Liepard. Alder's defeat at En's hands kicks off the climax of the story, and we quickly get things started, capturing and boxing the legendary Zekrom. If we didn't need Reshiram before, we don't need Zekrom now. Time to make the king submit. Shades faces off against Reshiram and is able to get the KO with Return and Bulldoze. Fusion Flare was scary. I thought we were toast. Bacon Bits is able to Oko Vanillux with Brick Break after it uses Hail. Assuming it has Sturdy, the Hail makes Haruka's job easier as it KOs Carracosta with Giga Drain. It looks like Kling Klang is sent out next, but I stay in. After tanking Flamethrower, Giga Drain does massive damage to Zoroark. And heals it up, but I simply use Giga Drain again. We're now healthy enough to survive the following Flamethrower and clean up. Kling Klang is sent out for real this time, so I get Bacon Bits back out. He survives with literally 1 HP and KOs with Brick Break. If I had a nickel for every fire type I've used that defies the odd with 1 HP, I'd have 2 nickels. Shout out to Hades. Archeops is the only mon left standing on N's side. I switch into Cruella, but even at full health, Acrobatics hits way too hard in Oko's. She was our silent assassin, man. I send Shades out, primarily for Intimidate. Thanks to our level advantage, Shades is faster, and Rock Tomb hits hard enough to activate Archeops' Defeatist ability. Because of that, Shades actually lives through Acrobatics and gets the KO with Crunch. I was not expecting that, but I will take it as we have one more battle to get through. Gladys Bag ignores Cofagrigus' Toxic on switch-in and sets up Toxic Spikes before being hit hard by Psychic. I send Shades back in now that the mummy's been chipped a bit and KO with Crunch. Getsus sends his Ace Hydreigon out next. Hold back a little, man. I first use Rock Tomb to reduce its speed, then pivot into Gladys Bag for the sack. I know, I'm horrible for sacking. Bacon Bits still isn't fast enough and Brick Break doesn't KO. As Getsus heals, I'm able to use Flame Charge and outspeed with Brick Break, only to miss the mark again. Rest in peace, Bacon Bits. Hoping to outspeed and clean up, I send Carlisle out. We miss Charge Beam and nearly pay for it, but it connects the second time to KO. We use Air Slash on Bishard next, letting it take Carlisle out with Night Slash. Shades is a clean switch in this way, and Earthquake KOs. I pivot into Aruka as Seismitoad sets up the rain. Sludge Wave hits hard, but Giga Drain KOs and offsets the damage. Up next is Electros, who hits hard with Acrobatics while Giga Drain 2 hit KOs. Getsus' last is the imposing Bouffalante. Shades uses Intimidate to weaken it, and then lands a crit Earthquake to end the run. We didn't start off as terribly as we did last time, but we still ended up finishing with a great deal of losses on our end. Despite that, this team was excellent once they all came together. Everyone had a moment or two where their presence was essential for us to reach the finish line, and I've developed a newfound attachment to Pokemon like Maractus because of it. The ban list grows ever larger as we add the Tepig, Purloin, Woobat, Sandile, Trubbish lines, and Maractus to the ban list. Now, we could challenge Cynthia again with our surviving 2, but there are a great deal of fun post-game bosses to battle in Unova. This time, we're taking on Game Freak's own Shigeki Morimoto. Once again training up to a level cap of 77, the battle is quickly at hand in Game Freak's Castelia City headquarters. Shades gets the battle started against Lightbard. Brick Break Okos after we're flinched by Fake Out. Aruka takes over to defeat Simipour with Giga Drain and quickly hands things back to Shades as Simi Seer is sent out. We're hit hard by Flamethrower but manage to KO with Earthquake. Aruka is sent out again to cover against Simisage, using Growth and then Giga Drain. After using its Pitaya Berry, Acrobatics hits Aruka at full power, taking her out. It's all Shades from here. Crunch Revenge KOs Simisage, and Earthquake Oko's Morimoto's Azeb Strika. Finally, Crunch is an Oko on Swoobat, ending another leg with only one man left standing. We are on to my all-time favorite mainline titles as we start Pokemon Black 2, next time.